Okay, good. That's way too high. I have to adjust my mic down still from when we were playing games. So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of This Week in Pony. Let me know if that music's too loud. It's hard to tell on my end here. So, anyway, welcome to episode 2 of This Week in Pony, where this week episode title is Writers Roundup 1, which is one of the many topics we have to cover today. So we got a lot of stuff to cover, both with fan content and show news and merchandise news. A lot of new stuff has come out in the past 3 weeks here since we had our last show here. So we have quite a bit to discuss, so you can all hear me okay. That's good, because I know last time the music was too loud, and then I watched the video and I made it too soft, so it is a little hard for me to hear on my end in terms of that. There we go, that's a little better. So anyway, I'm Rain Shadow. I'm joined today by Mr. Ben here.
Hello.
Apparently it's just us and our lonely selves here for this episode. For it, so again, everyone.
I'd start singing all by myself, but that wouldn't exactly be entirely accurate. So.
So yeah, anyway, we got a lot of stuff to discuss. So as always, kind of a community discussion show. So not really just us talking, but all of us here in the chat as well can give our opinions and feelings on whatever it is we're going to be discussing here today. So without further ado, we will go ahead and we will get started here with our first segment here, which is our Pony Express topic. This is a big piece of news coming out, not exactly for the show itself, but for the comic series, which has been going on for quite a while now here with IDW Comics. Had a lot of different issues, but they just announced over this past couple weeks that they are going to be having a new series launching. So in addition to the, I believe the main series is still going on, this is replacing the Friends Forever side series, which in turn had replaced the first side series they have, which I forget what the name was. But this is another new side series comic series that's going to be coming out starting in April. This is called Legends of Magic. So you can see kind of one of the cover arts for the first issue there. There's a lot to discuss here, trying to stay away from spoilerific territories. The main reason I say that is because this comic series is, at least the first issue of it, is supposed to tie into Season 7 of MLP, the season, of course, that is coming up. And with this comic series launching in April, of course, that's around the time that Season 7 also normally launches as well, or the new seasons, at least the past 2 seasons have launched, and we can probably suspect that around April, beginning of April, is when Season 7 would be starting as well, perhaps maybe a little earlier. So anyway, this pretty much the description of this new series and of the first issue is it's kind of a series to explore the secret history of Equestria as they describe it, diving into the world of mythology, diving into the mythology of the MLP world, again tying directly into Season 7. A quote from Jeremy Whitley here. It says it gives us an opportunity to work closely with the show without having to tell stories that are happening at the same time. So pretty much what you can surmise by that and by the description is what it's doing is it's kind of more of an addendum to the new series. It's not like it's going to be required reading for the new series, but it's going to have like more of a tie-in that isn't tying directly with the storyline, but might be providing additional context or background with it, which I find really interesting, kind of maybe trying to tie it a little bit more with the show than the comic series have had so far.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to seeing what the comics really show. I understand that the comics are generally supplementary canon to the show, so it's actually kind of interesting to see how this is going to tie into the show directly. If this is going to be tying, if this is actually going to be providing supporting materials that the show will actually reference. And in a way, I'm kind of hoping not, because I kind of like to be able to get the full story just from the show, as opposed to having to watch the show and read the comics to be able to get all the nuances necessary for the full experience.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because, like, of course, all the past comics have been, like you said, supplementary canon, but they're not really anywhere near tied to the show at all. They pull the characters and maybe some situations, but they're telling their own individual stories. But here we're actually planning on having some sort of, connection with the new series, new season, which I think is pretty cool. At least from the description, what I can make, it sounds like they're kind of making it maybe involve characters from the season that are going to be used maybe in the season, but I guess maybe provide additional background for it. I mean, the best example I could think of would be, for example, like the Sunset Shimmer comic that came out. I believe it was part of the first Equestria Girls annual that sort of gave her backstory, which I still think should have been included in the movie, but maybe something sort of like that where it wasn't really required to read in order to understand the movie, but provided nice additional context or backstory to the character. And and I'm assuming that they might be, these new comics, being that they're not supposedly involving the main six themselves, but more involving mythical characters or other side characters from before the main six's time. I'm assuming it's kind of going to be that kind of thing where we're providing additional characterization or context.
Yeah, something like that I wouldn't have a problem with.
Yeah. And I mean, definitely an interesting subject matter, because they really seem to be diving more into past mythology, like maybe expanding the mythology of the universe, of the MLP universe, rather than just kind of having stories with our additional characters, or with our normal characters from the show. So maybe diving into some more historical characters, which definitely intrigues me, and expanding kind of the show's canon in that respect.
I still would like to see some stuff in regards to like supporting characters, like a day in the life of the Cake family, if you will, or maybe like what Shirley does on day-to-day basis when she's not teaching kids or anything like that.
Isn't that kind of what the Friends Forever comic series did, though? I haven't really read any of them, but I thought that's kind of what they were focusing on.
To be truthfully honest, I haven't read them either, so
I got really backtracked. I mean, I bought every single comic up until maybe a point like a year or so ago, and I just didn't have any time to read them, and so I haven't read any for quite a while, so I'm quite a bit behind. But I definitely want to try and pick these new ones up, because I like the whole concept of it, and exploring the show's mythology rather than just telling additional side stories. But yeah, I never really read any of the Friends Forever ones myself. I haven't probably read any of the comics in over a year now. More just in my case, it's more just based on not having the time or having other things I wanted to do, rather than anything else. Let's see some interesting. So this next one here I got is I believe an alternate variant cover of the first comic here, and this is really interesting here. As you can see, we have the main six here on some sort of Indiana Jones-esque adventure where they found some cave paintings of ponies who are drawn in the G1 style of it, which I find both hilarious and intriguing as well as to what exactly these comics are going to be covering.
It'd be really nice to see if they actually had some actual hard evidence that the G1 is basically like their version of ancient history.
I know, right? Maybe the mythical legends of the human Megan who came into the pony world.
I could just imagine Twilight just like, and this is what we used to look like thousands of years ago.
But I'm definitely intrigued also, since it seems like the main six might be sort of involved in this, but it's really not focusing on them at all, which I'm intrigued by as well, because it should give some other characters and maybe new characters some screen time or page time, I guess you could say. Definitely another thing that really interests me is how big featured Star Swirl is on this cover. So it's like, I know it's kind of a character that's a lot of people have been looking to go farther in depth in terms of the show. So both intrigues me in terms of if this comic series more than likely will probably go more into him and his mythology and who he was. But the tie into season 7 also, speculates in my head, like I wonder if that'll have anything to do with the new season as well. It's like I kind of am really antsy as to get my hands on the comic and also see the new season to see where they're planning on taking everything. Because if we're having a new comic series launching about the history and kind of mythology of Equestria and kind of before the main 6 time, and we're stating that comic, that initial issue is going to tie into this new season, it's kind of like, it makes me a little intrigued as to where they're going with the season as well.
I hear J.E. Smith joining us.
Hello.
Well, a belated welcome to J.E. for just joining us.
Yes. Did we mention the 50th issue yet?
No, I don't think I was able to get that in here, but we can go ahead and mention that, yeah.
Yeah. Because last week, speaking of the comic, that the comics actually lasted 50 issues, and number 50 came out last week.
And of course, that's of the main series, which will also still be continuing. But yeah, but between this and like the Guardians of Harmony, you can also see that the comics here have switched over to the new MOP logo, which I'm also curious to see if they will be utilizing like in the intros now, if they'll be changing that out in the intro or not of season 7, since everything, the comics, all the new toys, all the branding is now changed over to this new more purple logo versus a pink logo, which I think is an interesting change. Maybe trying to go a little bit more away from pink and to a more gender neutral dark purple bluish kind of color. Let's see, so and it's also the color of Twilight, so but yeah, I'm personally really interested in this, and of course with it launching right around the new season, and of course I believe the what's it called, that one My Little Pony game app is supposed to also have an update around the time of season 7, so it'd be interesting to see how they're maybe trying to tie all these things together. And speaking of season 7 here, we can continue here to our normal show news, which I believe there we go. We have a bit of season 7 news here to start off, kind of getting where our episode title comes from here, the Writers Roundup Edition 1, because I'm sure we'll know more in the coming weeks as we get closer to the start of the new season sometime in the spring, probably April. Again, I'm really betting April just because, that's when the comics are launching here. But speaking of 7, a lot of questions as to who's actually going to be writing for it. There's a lot of question marks, a lot of people that we knew are returning, and a lot more that we know are not returning. We have 3 people that are confirmed for returning for the series. Will and Mike Fox, who wrote 3 episodes, I believe, last season. Actually, I really should put up... Matt made this really cool document for us here. He was putting some stuff together for this, he put together all of the writers for the show and if all the episodes they've written and if they're going to be returning for season 7. So I meant to pull that up here. So here we do have Mike Fox and Will Fox, who had wrote The Gift of the Maud Pie, Applejack's quote unquote Day Off, and also PPOV. They will be returning for season. They've confirmed they will be returning for season 7. G.M. Burrow, who had her writing debut for the show. Of course, she wrote a lot of the books before then. Also confirmed she will be returning for 2 episodes. She, of course, wrote the one where Pinkie Pie knows previously. And Nick Confalone will also be returning. He, of course, wrote Party Pooped, Hearthbreakers, No Second Prances, The Saddlebrow Review, Dungeons and Discords. A lot of great episodes that he's wrote. Of course, Saddlebrow Review was one of my favorite episodes last season. He's confirmed that he's returning for 1 episode this season. So people who have confirmed they're not returning, Dave Polsky will not be returning. He had stated that he was sick or something for last season, had health issues. This season he won't be returning because he's working on Hasbro's new property Hanazuki, which you can check out on YouTube right now. They have the first 11, I believe, episodes on YouTube to watch. He's the story editor for that series. So he will not be returning. Unfortunately, Mike Vogel has said he wasn't returning. I was really surprised and kind of saddened by that one because I really thought he had the potential to be a story editor or a co-story editor for the new series. He's unfortunately not returning. He's actually also focused, along with a lot of the other crew, on the movie, which is cool because that's good for the movie. Not so good for Season 7. If the show continues into Season 8, hopefully he'll be back for that because he definitely had some of my absolute favorite episodes last season. Of course, this needs to be better organized. Heartwarming. I mean, so many episodes. This is why I was really thinking he might be like co-story editor or story editor this coming season because he had so many credits, even just for story last season. Heartwarming Tale, Spice of Your Life, Stranger Than Fiction, fan fiction. He had story credits for The Cart Before the Ponies, The Times Are a Changeling, Viva Las Pegasus. Also wrote Every Little Thing She Does, and of course the season finale co-wrote To Where and Back Again. So he had a lot of credits. Unfortunately, he will not be returning for season 7, but he is hard at work on the movie. Kevin Burke and Chris Wyatt have also confirmed on Twitter that they are not returning. They wrote also 3 episodes last season. They did the story for PPOV. The Times They Are a Changeling and Viva Las Pegasus last season. They said they are not returning for season 7, but hope to maybe in future seasons. M.A. Larson, of course, is also confirmed he's not been returning. He's still working on his books. And Jennifer Skelly, who wrote 1 episode last season, Buckball season, also stated on Twitter that she will not be returning at all. That still leaves a lot of questions, so I've kind of listed a bunch of unknown here, and these are just recent writers. There's a lot of writers, of course, who wrote for seasons 1, 2, or 3 that haven't been here for the past 2 or 3 seasons that I left out of this list. Of course, always possibility that one of them could come back, but just for the sake of keeping this list short, I kept this to just the past couple seasons. The biggest one, of course, is Josh Haber, who we really don't know if he's returning or not. He's kind of left some cryptic tweets that could really go either way. He has been working on Skylanders a lot, so I'm not really sure if he had left the show to work on that or if he's going to be back story editing this season. Of course, he was the story editor last season, so that's very much a question as to whether or not he will be returning. We won't know for sure unless he actually says something or until the first episode premieres, because he had left some tweets about it and they were they really didn't say much. Ed Valentine, of course, is another one that hasn't said anything yet. I'm really hoping that he returns. Of course, Ed Valentine, very well known for his CMC episodes. He wrote Flight to the Finish and Three's a Crowd in season 4. Skipped season 5, but was back last season for The Cart Before the Ponies, and of course the Faulkner Cutie Marks last season. So I'm hoping he makes a return as well. Natasha Levenger, who was absent from last season, but did write Pinky Apple Pie, It Ain't Easy Being Breezes in season 4, as well as Make New Friends and Keep It Discord and Scaremaster. So that's a recent writer. She wasn't there for last season, but always a possibility she could return. We haven't heard anything about her yet. Also, Joanne Lewis and Christine Sonko, another question if they would be returning or not. We haven't heard anything from that. They wrote Castle Sweet Castle, Rarity Investigates, Who Fields McColl's Gauntlet of Fire last season, as well as Top Bolt, and of course also wrote the last Equestria Girls movie as well. They're currently working on The Great Indoors, a show for CBS. So that's unknown if they will be returning or if that has taken most of their time. Neil, I can never pronounce his last name, Duisto. Also questioning if he will return. He did Princess Spike and What About Discord in season 5, and did one episode for the story for Applejack's quote-unquote day off for last season. Dave Rapp, also another new writer from last season. Not sure if he'll be returning. He did Newbie Dash, Flutterbrudder, and Where the Apple Lies last season. Not sure about him. And FMD Marco, who was a new writer last season, that did one episode, 28 Pranks Later, also not sure. So all of these writers here are trying to fill in the gaps of who's going to be actually writing for for the new series, because we have a big list of people who aren't coming back, and only 3 that are coming back, and 2 of them are only writing three episodes. So a lot of question marks going forward. Who's going to be the story editor? Is it still going to be Josh Haber? We know it's not going to be Mike Vogel now, so if it's not Josh Haber, who's going to be there? And then who's actually going to be writing? Are we going to have a lot of new writers again, like we did last season, which of course worked out well? I'm not going to try and say that's not going to be a good thing, but will we have a lot of new writers again, or will some of these writers here that are unknown, are we going to have a lot of them coming back, or will we potentially have some older writers coming back? I don't know. She's not working at Lauren Faust isn't working at Sony anymore, so who knows?
That's why I said LOL no after that.
But you never know. Yeah, it'd be interesting if Scott Sunborn comes back. I know he had been working on Thunderbirds or Go, Sheriff Callie's Wild West, and it was a story editor for Pickle and Peanut, and as well, which is also ending. He wrote Some Pony to Watch Over Me, Traja, did the teleplay along with M.A. Larson for the Cutie Map, and of course wrote the Do Princesses Dream of Magic Sheep. So he did not write for last season though. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely really curious. I mean, not really. This doesn't really make me worry, but it definitely makes me really curious as to who actually is going to be returning to write. We did have so many new writers last season. Most of them wrote like 2 or 3 episodes, so they could be doing the same thing this season as well. Yep, I already had Kevin and Chris in the not returning thing earlier. Yeah, so I guess we will find out about that, but definitely interesting. And like I said, this is edition 1. As we get closer to April, I'm sure we'll learn more people who aren't, and who are and aren't, and we will update this list as we get there. So with that, let's go ahead and we will continue now into some merchandise news here. So this next section here, we're going to discuss some of the new official and licensed merchandise for My Little Pony here. And we'll go ahead and we will start with another one I really want to get my hands on, because I just can't spend enough money on these things. A new fancy, so of course the Hasbro My Little Pony fan series ones are like the really kind of big, more expensive and detailed ones. So we had, of course, the Discord one, the Celestia and Nightmare Moon ones, and recently had a chrysalis one, what we featured on the last This Week in Pony, which I still have yet to unbox. They've revealed another one. I don't think I've actually seen it go on sale yet, but it was listed on Amazon. This one is a fan series one for DJ Pwn 3 vinyl scratch. Another, these are usually pretty big, so don't let the small picture there fool you. So it has a really cool looking mold for DJ Pwn 3 standing up there, of course, with her trademark headphones on, as well as flaming turntables and speakers there. So it's listed, but not currently available, at least that I've seen on Amazon there. But it looks really, really cool. I really like the standing up pose that she has there, and of course coming with a nice little separate accessory, sort of like how Discord came with a chair, which is pretty cool. So moving on here, we got some more merchandise here next, and this is another big merchandise reveal here. And this is the new Friendship is Magic collection line, and this one's focusing on rarity. So this is I really like this line of toys since they've started releasing it. This is the Friendship is Magic collection line, and over the past couple of years, they've been kind of releasing a lot of toys under this collection focusing on a certain character, and all of these toys are very much focused on pulling stuff from the show rather than just making something randomly. And I've always had really good molds and really good looking characters compared to like the brushes, and a lot of cool accessories. So this one, they had Applejack first, and then last year's line was focused on Pinkie Pie. This year's line is going to be focusing on rarity here. This includes more mold with dresses, Sapphire Shores, a boutique and bedroom sets, as well as an aloe spa playset as well. So here's the picture of Sapphire Shores here, and her mold with her whole dress get up there as well. Have to include an Applejack here with her gala dress here and a crazy 10-gallon apple hat. I believe a lot of these are based on the dresses from the show. Here's one of Pinkie Pie here, of course, with the cupcake on her head. I love that pose, the posing there and expression. And here is the boutique playset here. Includes, of course, Rarity with a very luscious, good-looking dress there and a very seductive look on her face. It includes, let's see, includes a model there, a sewing kit, and oh gosh, what's his name? Fancy Pants there as well is included in this set. And also, of course, Opal is also included as well. Inside, it's not really much. It's just kind of a hollow shell, half of the boutique with some stickers kind of inside, stickers of the interior of it. So not much on the inside, but it looks really good on the outside. And so here is another set. This is the boutique salon set, again with another Rarity figure here. We have a sorry, I can't know everyone's name. So we have Rarity there. It looks like she has some sort of hair accessory that goes over there, additional hair, a mirror, and a styling area, as well as a magazine there with Fluttershy on it, again referencing green is not your color from the show there. And yeah, I really love, just the box art. They've really, these past year, just really upped the box art, their box art game here. I love the compilation of ponies they have on the top. And if you look at different pieces of merchandise that will have it, that may have that top section larger. You really get a big view of just how expansive that kind of pony collection is and all the different characters and stuff they have in it. Let's see. There's another one here. Yes, here's the Aloe playset here, the Aloe spa playset with aloe, a bunch of accessories, a little water bath spa. I'm not sure if you can actually put water in that or not, but maybe you can. Kind of cool that Aloe has her own toy here. So yeah, definitely some more stuff I'll be looking to pick up to my already ridiculous collection of MLP merchandise that I've got collected over the past year and a half. I'm not sure when those will be available. Probably right now I know that the Pinkie Pie stuff is still in stores, but I think some of these stuff are slowly trickling out for the Rarity collection, so you can probably find them on Amazon or a local retailer before too long. Continuing, we got some more MLP books, new MLP books from Hatchet Books that are coming out. A ton. They actually just listed a ton of books. Most of them are movie tie-ins, not any information out of the movie, so no spoilers, no hints, or anything else as to what the movie's about. They're very, very vague descriptions for the books, but we do know that they are titled movie tie-ins, so there are going to be a lot of different movie tie-in books. Some of them are novels, chapter books. Some of them are like sticker books and other coloring books, so that are going to be tying in to the new movie. So again, generic titles and descriptions. Additionally, there is a new book about family with a focus on Discord and his family, which is called Fluttershy. And yeah, I pretty much that's exactly. I lifted that exactly from the official book description from Hatchet Books, which says with a focus on Discord and his family. ... Fluttershy, and then the actual description. I did not add this in. The actual book description says "Wait, what?" on it. So that's an interesting potential book. That's going to be coming out from Hatchet Books. I'm not sure what that. I don't think they listed a date on it yet. So new book featuring Discord and Fluttershy, and I have no idea exactly what that's going to entail. But yeah, official Fluttercord shipping novel, I guess. And one more piece of merchandise news for today. Hallmark is also releasing these really weird looking itty bitty pony plushies. They were just listed. They include a very poor selection of characters with Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, Rainbow Dash, and Twilight. 2 1/4 inches tall, and retail for $6.95. Apparently these they're self-standing, so they don't have legs, which is interesting, but I guess they're probably weighted at the bottom and just kind of stand up and look kind of cute and kind of weird. I think the Fluttershy was the weirdest looking one, so I picked hers. Landmine Shy. So yeah, these are coming out at some point. So not too bad of a price. I mean, only like $7. That's not too bad for that. But
they're only they're only like what, 2 feet tall? You said as well.
Yeah, 2 1/4.
I was almost kind of hoping this would be like one of those Bopham Sock'em, inflatable dolls or something. The ones that have like the weighted bottom, so you knock them over and they spring right back up or something.
No, they're pretty small. They're kind of like, being that they don't have legs and they're kind of set up on themselves. They look like they're more made for like a desk accessory, like you can just put on your desk and just kind of sits there.
Well, they're small enough to be easily kickable, at least.
That's going to be the new use. That has to be something that has to be done at future conventions. Just main 6 football. Yeah, a punching bag size one would be pretty cool too as well. Let's see. Well, that ends our merchandise news segment here. So we're going to go to our next segment on fandom news. Just one little thing for fandom news today. Not much news in the fandom, but this one, guys, Two Snacks recently updated a week or so ago of a January update. So he's been posting some update videos over the past month or so after coming out of whatever hiding hole he had been in for the past year or 2 years since the last Two Best Sisters Play video came out. So he did post a January update, a very funny one. I definitely recommend going to watch it, not necessarily just for the news aspect, because it's really pretty entertaining just for kind of text on the screen. And so he is working hard on the next Two Best Sisters Play, so I'm really happy to hear that, because I really thought after he hadn't uploaded anything for a while, and of course he was just kind of doing stuff on the side for the Two Best Friends Play channel, I thought maybe he had just kind of moved on from Pony and was doing other things now, like a lot of others have had. But no, apparently he's not. He's just had doing a lot of work on trying to get a new episode up. And in one of his previous videos, he had stated that he had been working on an episode using the new 3D models, using 3D models that he had created, that he had also shown off a couple of years ago, but it wasn't really working out, and he wasted a lot of time trying to make that work out. And so eventually he's just going back to the what he had been doing before with the 2D animation in After Effects. So that's what he's doing going forward. So he's been working on that and kind of had a schedule that he's trying to keep for it. Animation is taking a little bit longer than expected on it, but he's hoping to finish it maybe by March as well. So in the video he's detailed some new characters as well as episode ideas. In a previous video he had kind of asked for people's opinion on who is going to be playing other certain characters, most certainly Wooly, and if you're familiar with the Two Best Friends Play, Wooly and Liam, and trying to see what characters are going to be playing that. So he kind of asked for suggestions in the previous video. This one he kind of presented with a couple options, and kind of the one he's going to kind of focus on in terms of who's going to be playing these characters, which sounds like it's going to be pretty funny. It does involve Chrysalis, of course, and Cadence and Twilight. So again, focusing on the princesses, where the past videos have really just kind of focused on Celestia and Luna. Yeah, I mean, those 3D models, those were probably some of the best 3D models I've seen. I know he had some problems with the rigging of them, so they weren't that good rigging-wise, but actually how they looked were probably the best 3D models I've seen. Worlds better than the Source Filmmaker ones, and because they looked like really much like the show style, but in 3D. Like, they're the closest matches I could see. So that's going to be coming out in another couple months and stuff. I'm sure he'll have another update video. He's trying to... Oh, actually, no, I think he said he wasn't, because he was trying to post one a month, but he's not going to post one in February because he has way too much work to do to finish everything. But it sounds pretty funny in how he's going to be utilizing Cadence and Twilight and Chrysalis as well in the future videos. And he also kind of goes through some of the past Two Best Friends Play episodes and kind of ideas as to kind of what episodes maybe he's thinking about doing in the future, and what episodes he's not, and asking for suggestions of it. So he's definitely planning to continue to do more throughout the year with it. So I really love all the previous videos he's done, and then the Pokemon Snap one, which I think is the most recent one he did, was absolutely hilarious. And I've shown that. I show that like quite a few times here. So I really looking forward to the new ones. And he said that he's done a lot of work on the 2D models as well, so they're a lot better rigged. So some of the little teaser animations that he's shown were pretty good. Let's see, so that is all for the fandom news that we have for this week. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our art section here. So a lot of these things, Everlasting Joy has been, if you don't follow us on Tumblr, I don't blame you, because it's been kind of dead. But Everlasting Joy has been posting, as of the past couple weeks, a lot of art, like multiple things a day, to our Tumblr account. So if you're a fan of MLP, sorry, I saw the title of the slide and I thought I really thought it said add text here, like it was just the sample text, and I completely forgot to add the title. But no, that was the title. It kind of weirded me out for a second. But yeah, Everlasting Joy has been posting a lot of art to our Tumblr. So if you're a fan of MLP art, definitely follow us on our Tumblr. It's linked on the front page. We also have on the bottom of our front page of the site, it automatically will show the two most recent artworks that we have featured on the site. So maybe check that out. And if you're a fan of art, that's kind of where I've pulled most of these things from today to feature here. So this first one here is by the Wizard of Art, called Add a Little More, and I absolutely love the detail on this one. Again, showing Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy making some cupcakes. Looks like in Fluttershy's cottage, and making a big mess. But I really like the style and just the detail throughout this. Not really show style, but it has a nice, very unique style to it. Yeah, Pinkie's face there is great. I mean, it's just really fun to look at this image and just take a look around and just see all the different details that the Wizard of Art has put in here. It's not a plain one by any stretch of the imagination. There's all sorts of little details that really make this scene come to life. See, so we got a couple more here that we have featured today. Just a very few of the stuff that has been featured on our Tumblr from last week. This one's a Letter for You by Atlas66 here, with a very adorable Derpy greeting you out of your mailbox to deliver you your letter. I really just like the color of this one, and I liked kind of the lighting and shading of it. It's very pleasing to look at with your eyes, just because of the color scheme of it, and the amount of color in it, and the clarity. It's a very high resolution. I mean, this stream isn't going to do this justice, because this is a really high resolution image. If you look on Atlas 66's DeviantArt page. Kind of the house in the background there is a little off, I think, in terms of the color. Kind of trying to go for the sunset on it. Looks a little out of place, but like everything in the foreground here, the bench in the background, the flowers in the foreground there, I guess the color in this pops so well, and really relaxing to look at. Actually, the flag on the mailbox is up. That would almost signify that we are mailing Derpy. That we are not receiving her. We are mailing her out. Maybe we're returning to sender. And yeah, of course, I guess the clouds and the sky in the background there were really, really well done, even just on their own there. Very, very nicely done. Why use your wings when you can just send yourself by mail? And so got one more to feature today. This one's called A Glimmer by Orchid Pony. A very nice kind of alternate style of Starlight Glimmer here with a different hairstyle and some nice flowers, halo of flowers over her head here. Another one that I guess really like the style of it, and I like it. I love seeing things in the show style, but when an artist deviates from the show style and kind of does their own thing, but still makes it look good and true to the show, I really enjoy that. And I really like her. I really like her mane. Hey, Starlight Glimmer was the Master Chief of her own little town. Yeah, definitely. And so that is all the artwork that we have for this week. Again, make sure to check out our Tumblr if you're a Tumblr user. Subscribe to it, and or if not, just check out our front page every once in a while and scroll down to the bottom and see some of the featured art that Everlasting Joy has been posting to our Tumblr there. Because a lot of great stuff. It's stuff that's really easy to miss, especially if you're like me and you don't have a DeviantArt account and don't really follow people on DeviantArt or Tumblr. Most I do is Reddit, and so I miss a lot of this really good art that's still coming out of the fandom, and it's really easy to miss. So thankfully, Everlasting Joy watches it a little closer. I know Tim watches it a lot closer as well than I do, so still awesome to see some stuff like this. With that, we'll move into our final section here, away from the art, and we're going to go to our viewer questions segment, where we're going to be answering a question here as a group. Okay, again, just kind of a group discussion here on a question that we've been asked here. So today's question, and this might be getting a little bit into spoiler territory, but since we really don't know anything about the movie. I guess it's more just speculation. So this was asked by Mr. Ben before our last episode, so I thought I'd include it here. Pretty much, what would you like to see from the My Little Pony movie? And not just necessarily story-wise, it could be related to something else regarding the movie that's not related to the plot or the story.
To be perfectly honest, I really don't know what I'd like to see. I'm still just looking forward to seeing what's going on.
Yeah, I mean,
with the plot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Tim. I'm not someone who's going to be picky and say if you don't do something, I'm going to be mad. I mean, I'm definitely eager to see what they're going to do. I would like to see them definitely explore, and it seems like this is where they're going. Explore new land, unexplored lands, maybe outside of Equestria, and have more of an adventurous kind of exploration story. And it seems like that may be where they're going. I think that would be a pretty cool thing to tell, and would fit kind of more epic nature than a movie would provide. And that's something I'm definitely interested to see who the villain or villains will be for the movie. I'm assuming it's probably going to be someone new and not a returning villain. Or at least not returning from G4.
I also would like to see a return of the rainbow powers as well, considering that we've only seen them used maybe twice at most and then just promptly forgotten about.
I still think the rainbow powers were a one-time thing. Like it was just the box gave them that power to defeat that one time, and then they're gone. And then it gave Twilight a cool swag pad. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely interested. Not so much in terms of what I'd like to see, but I'm definitely interested to see how they're going to be using all of these voice actors that they have for the movie. It seemed like they just keep releasing more and more. Like even after we think it's done, like last month or so, we learned there's another person that's going to be starring in the My Little Pony movie. And from what I've heard, I forget where I heard who said this, but someone on Twitter mentioned that in response to how are you going to fit all these celebrities into the movie, because worrying about are they going to have to try and force people into the story to make it fit. They said no, everyone that Hasbro has gotten are characters that have been written for the story and are people that we wanted to get to voice those characters. So much like they kind of got John DeLance to voice Discord, and he was kind of written for Discord, they seem to be actually requesting people, and Hasbro's been able to get a lot of these people to voice the characters. So I'm interested to see where they're going to fit. I mean, if it's and that's kind of why I'm leaning towards this kind of being more an exploration story, because if we're doing a movie that's going to focus on traveling to a lot of different lands and search for something or something like that, that's a really good way to, they're going to run into a lot of different characters, and those characters might not be with them for the entire movie. There'll be few characters that probably will be, but they'll probably run into a lot of incidental characters that might not have a lot of lines, and that's maybe where a lot of these voice actors are actually going to be going towards as well. I still can't believe some of the voice, talents they've gotten for the movie, so. And the funny thing is there's a lot of big names, but none of them are ridiculously big names either. It isn't like a lot of animated movies you see where they just get the biggest stars they can find at the time just to try and sell tickets. They definitely seem like a lot of talented people, which is good.
I can't spell his name, so I'm just going to say it out loud. So what would be hilarious? If we somehow got Shaquille O'Neal to voice a line in the movie. Even if it'd be something like Green Eggs and Hammock.
No, Mr. Ben, no, not Shaquille O'Neal. We need to get Terry Crews.
Okay, Terry Crews I will be more than happy with. Even if we just have him screaming something like power as well.
Come on, Terry Crews. You're apparently voicing Doomfist for Overwatch. You gotta come over to the ponies too. Use some of those voice acting talents.
And it has the credits roll up. We hear those Terry Crews just smash through the wall, just saying, "Ah!"
Smashes through the credits.
My voice is too powerful to let this movie in, and then we get the end credits scene, or the stinger that we get in the middle.
And they have a remix of that Super Mario thing mixed with the MLP theme.
Yes.
Beautiful.
But yes, I would love Terry Crews just to interrupt the credits, just to introduce a mid-credit stinger.
Outside of the story and character-wise, not so much of what I'd like to see, but what I'm really interested in seeing is the new animation style, and how the character and how the movie's going to look. And that's something we should know by the time we start seeing the first teasers and trailers. But I'm definitely really, really excited and hoping we get to see a trailer soon, because I really am interested in see how the new animation is going to look. Of course, they're going for a lot more of a traditional animation thing. They're not using Flash like they do for the show. for the movie. They're using Toon Boom Harmony, which is kind of the industry standard right now for animation. If something is you see on television or in the movies isn't animated in Flash, it's more than likely animated in Toon Boom Harmony. Even things like The Princess and the Frog, like when that came out in 2009, that movie was, I believe, was animated, at least partially using Toon Boom Harmony. So it isn't like some random thing or small time animation software. This is like the industry standard for doing traditional animation digitally. So I'm really looking forward to kind of what they are able to pull off with that and bring. They really, if you have some time, I need to look through it again sometime in the future. But check out the movie's IMDb page, because they have a lot more credits that have popped into there. A lot of people adding their names as working on the movie, so the credits list on the movie's IMDb page has grown really, really big. And kind of looking through a lot of the animators and storyboard artists and stuff, we have a lot of people, of course, coming from the show, but there's a lot of animators and stuff that have worked in the past on many Disney films and DreamWorks films in the 90s and the 2000s. Of course, we know Michael Gagney had been working on the effects animation, but so they have a lot of really talented people that are working on animation. I'm really curious as to who's actually going to be animating it. If it's going to be Top Draw. Top Draw does all of the animation along with DHX for the main show. They also do Toon Boom Harmony animation. So if they're going to be contributing, I'm assuming it's going to probably be multiple studios. I wouldn't be surprised if Boulder Media, who also does a lot of Toon Boom animation, of course, for like Gumball and the Danger Mouse series. Since they're now owned by Hasbro, I wouldn't be surprised if Hasbro brought them, because Hasbro bought them very recently, just at the time when the animation would be starting. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were also helping with the animation on it. But I'm definitely interested to see how it looks and who's going to be doing the animation, or DHX is doing it all in house or what. And of course, I'm also really looking forward to the music. I would not be me if I did not say I was not looking forward to the music. With, of course, Ingram and Caleb and Stefan Andrews all working on the not only the songs but also the score for this, and all of those songs and all of that score being played with a live orchestra is something that I'm really looking forward to hearing, because they do a really good job with the series' music and score. All maybe some session players but mostly synthesized, but you just really can't substitute the feel of actually having a live orchestra play it. So I'm really looking forward to what they do. They've brought on, if you look through the credits on IMDb, you can also look through the music credits. There's a lot more orchestrators that they brought on in addition to Ingram and Caleb Chan and Stephen Andrews from the show. So it's definitely a lot of work going into the music-wise, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of that and what the fruits of all that labor is. Oh, there's going to be songs. Yeah, we already know there's going to be songs. I mean, it depends on what your definition of musical is. I'm sure there will be enough songs to qualify it as a kind of a musical. I mean, there's going to probably be, like, I would say 5 songs, but it won't be like, Magical Mystery Cure levels of a song every 2 minutes. It'll be traditional, like, Disney animated movies when you have maybe 4 or 5 songs throughout the movie. I mean, it's technically a musical, but it's not. It's technically a musical, but it's not like a musical in terms of there's no dialogue. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. I mean, I'm hoping to see the exploration, but everything else I'm just really kind of looking forward to see what they do. Okay, so that kind of wraps up our second This Week in Pony show here. As always, I just want to leave these URLs here. Please, if you have any news or merchandise news or anything else that you think we should discuss here, it really should be something worth discussing. We're not here to just blab about the news or say little tidbits of stuff. We want to discuss and give our opinions on things. So if you have anything that news-wise that you think is worthy of discussion here, we have our little short URL here, brony.co/CQSubmit. That'll take you to our Tumblr page where you can submit a story or link or whatever via that. You don't have to have a Tumblr account to use it. You can do it anonymously. I'd appreciate it if you would at least put your name in there or username there somewhere so we can credit you and give you credit for submitting it. Also, if you have any fan works, videos, artworks, songs, music that you think we should feature on a future show, you can also submit those to that link there, and we will we'll add it to our list. We'll curate through it, and if once we get our show down so it's not too long and pick what we want to do, you might see it featured and whenever we do the next episode here of This Week in Pony. Also, please, if you want to ask a question that you think we should discuss in our viewer question segment like we just did, please submit a question to brony.co/CQAsk. Again, that's through it'll take you to our Tumblr where you can ask a question through there. No account required. Feel free to leave your name so we can credit you for asking that question. That's another big one. I mean, a lot of the news we can easily source from the internet and Equestria Daily and stuff like that. But fan works, and especially if you have any questions that you think are discussing, that's something that is harder for us to come up with. And so I'd appreciate it if maybe if you had anything that you'd like to discuss. Could be relating to the future, relating to the show, or relating to the fandom. Go ahead and you can submit that to there. Both of those URLs, you can find them both on our show page. If you go to the top of the screen and go to shows This Week in Pony, those links are there, and they're also linked on the quick links on the front page of our site. So if you need to get to those links, you can find them there. And with that, thanks so much for joining us for This Week in Pony. After the show here, we'll of course have the video will be going up on YouTube. So if you missed anything, you can check it out on YouTube. It'll also be going into our archive, which you can view on the website under the shows tab. Scroll down to This Week in Pony and click on archive. Also, if you go to our archive there, not only can you watch past episodes, we have a link to show notes for each of the episodes that we'll be doing. So if you want to find a link to one of the stories we had, because obviously you can't really click on the video. So if you want to go to the source of whatever news we were discussing, or if you want to go to the DeviantArt page of one of the artworks we featured on here without having to search for it, when the episode goes up, check out the show notes on the website. We'll have those links there. They'll just have to go into the show notes, click on them, and it'll take you right there. So very easy. We have those up on the archive for episode 1, so we'll have those coming for episode 2 as well. Besides that, again, this isn't a weekly show, so we kind of just do this. It's been 3 weeks since the last show. We just kind of do this once we accumulate enough news, or if any of the news is going to go stale, we'll have another show. So I'm not sure exactly when we'll have another one. As we get closer to the new season, obviously news will break a lot quicker, and we'll have a lot more accumulating. So we'll probably have less time between shows as we get closer to that. But make sure to check out our This Week in Pony show page on our website, our calendar, or Twitter when we'll announce when the next show, once we know when the next show is going to be happening here. Is that any final words from anyone before we leave?
Well, I actually Googled the release date of the MLP number 50. I think last week when I checked, it said it was supposed to come out last week, but I checked it again, and apparently they changed the date. It doesn't come out until this Wednesday.
Oh, well, there. We're not late to that news then. We're on time. Yeah, so anyway, thank you so much for joining us for that. Make sure to check back here at 5 p.m. tomorrow when we'll be having our next Triple E episode discussing, what episode was it? Flight to the Finish. Another, again, talking about Ed Valentine earlier. That is Ed Valentine's first episode and first CMC episode. So we'll be discussing that. A lot to discuss then. We'll discuss that tomorrow on Triple E at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And our other show, CQ Riffs, is back this weekend for our 99th episode of CQ Riffs. And this is our second episode of this, but tomorrow is like our... I've lost count. I thought the count was on here, but it's on the video. It's on our YouTube, but it's like the hundreds, like 90s. I don't know. There's a lot of episodes of Triple E too, but we're gonna be episode 99 of CQ Riffs this weekend, and Matt is being so kind to subject himself to playing and recording himself playing some wonderful, wonderful games from Phoenix Games, as well as wrangling some more stuff from Dingo Pictures, which we have featured here previously, like The Lion and the King. So he's getting all that together, and we'll be watching that and watching him play that this weekend for CQ Riffs. That's starting at let me pull up here, see what, because it's a different time this week because we have some other stuff. That's going to be at 2 o'clock this Saturday, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, for more Dingo Pictures and Phoenix Games shit. So make sure to join us.
It's going to be one hell of an episode.
Yeah, it's going to be the Patrick Stewart of episodes. Of course, Patrick Stewart voicing shit now. So. So anyway, everyone, thank you so much for joining us for our second episode of This Week in Pony, and I'll see you all tomorrow for Triple E. Bye-bye.
Later.
See ya.